All right, so you guys know that I am usually one to give honest reviews. In fact, my YouTube channel originally started because I was giving a planner review. Actually, before the planner review, it was even my Dagny Dover. I had done a Dagny Dover bag. I've done several of those over my years. And right now, decided I was driving earlier this morning. The boys and I just got back from visiting family in Texas. And I got home yesterday from a long drive, and my Frigidaire refrigerator is out. To give you guys some perspective of my refrigerator. So the refrigerator is a 2021 Frigidaire Professional Series. I bought it pre-loved, but it was in great condition. The only thing it has is like a small little ding on the front, stainless steel side. Then January of 2024, it started not holding its temperature. So I checked all the seals, I did all the resets, got on YouTube and like troubleshot everything. I love the aesthetic of my refrigerator. So if you take a look, it's just very pretty. It goes perfect with my appliances, with my kitchen. I am a single mom. I have 5 kids. And so I couldn't necessarily afford a brand new one because these refrigerators are really expensive. They're about $4,000. So I got one pre-loved. Now, to give you some background to the background, this isn't my first Frigidaire Professional. It's my second one. And the other one that I had was actually a 2022. Exact same type of refrigerator. The reason why I kept going with this refrigerator, because I have had a lot of people try to tell me, well, why don't you just go with something else? It has an ice maker up top and it has a full ice maker below. I truly love iced coffee. I drink it all throughout the day, 365 days a year. I live in Arizona, and so I drink iced coffee when it's piping hot outside or when it's freezing cold outside. So having 2 ice makers works great. I also have kids that are in sports, so filling up a cooler, they go through a lot of ice themselves. And that's why having 2 ice makers was something really important to me when it came to buying a refrigerator for my home. So this isn't my first one. It is my second one. I have lived in my house about 2.5 years. So I have had 2 of these refrigerators in 2.5 years. Again, one of them was a 2022 model. One was a 2021. The 2022 model, I ended up having to get rid of for the exact same reason. So ended up getting rid of that one, got a 2021, which is this one right here. And then it started in January of 2024. Again, it wouldn't hold the temperature. You can hear it beeping. It says high right there, like the high temperature. So needless to say, we get home from going to Texas this winter. Again, single mom budget. So I've already spent money on gifts, on travel, and I drove there to try to keep costs down. But got home, and the stupid refrigerator's making the beeping noise. Because it's not my first rodeo with this refrigerator, I knew exactly what it meant. Sure enough, the refrigerator was completely hot inside. Thank God I had not left the heater on in the house. So it gets really cool at night here. It gets about 69 degrees in the house. So I think that was my saving grace, that the entire house did not reek of spoiled food. I've lost about $700 worth of stuff between the refrigerator stuff that I had in there and the freezer stuff that I had. Super disappointed in that, because again, in 2.5 years, it's not my first rodeo of the refrigerator going bad. It's my second time. So I did what I've done in the past, because it's not my first one, right? So did all the troubleshooting, unplugged, plugged, did the resettings, blah, 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 nothing. Overnight, still, it hasn't changed, even with all the stuff removed. So had to get rid of everything in the refrigerator. And you guys, I'm like super disappointed. I, thank God, have a refrigerator in the garage, nowhere close to the quality of this one, but I just don't have the money. I don't have the money to be going around buying a new refrigerator every year. When I got this one repaired, so 2021 model, in January of 2024, I paid for a repair company to come and do the fix. Frigidaire is super high maintenance, from my understanding, on their repair parts. Some things can be easy, but the back motherboard, if you will, is what had gone out. That's what went out in the 2022 one too. Frigidaire, get with the program. Like, fix this thing. I don't even understand. I had to wait for the part. So because I still wanted my ice maker, I loved the look of it. I've been through some really heavy stuff over the last several years. And so change is not something I really like to begin with. So I wanted to try to keep my refrigerator. The repair itself, between the part was almost $1,000. So the motherboard, almost $1,000 plus the labor. So I spent almost $1,300 to get it fixed a year ago, right? So, well, a little over a year ago, year and a half. So it took weeks to get the part in, weeks. So thank God I had that refrigerator in the garage. It's a podunk one. It's not pretty at all, but I had to literally use that one. So putting our stuff in the garage, walking in and out, what a time waster. Just so I could wait for the part to come in for the refrigerator, right? I really find it interesting that the part itself, it's more expensive than the fridge. You can go buy a refrigerator. I'm disappointed in Frigidaire because, to me, my opinion is, shouldn't you want the parts to be affordable so that the people continue keeping your refrigerators in their homes? I don't know. And it's supposed to be for professional grade. I'm not running a restaurant in my house. I'm a mom with kids half the time. And yet it can't seem to get with the program and stay reputable, if you will. Other things that, outside of the fact that the motherboard's gone, so I just called bulk trash for them to come pick it up and take it away because I'm just not even dealing with it anymore. I'd rather have a crappy refrigerator that is not Frigidaire than have to go spend another $1,200, $1,300 to have this thing break on me in a year again. I'm just not doing it anymore. Because not only I bought the one for the 2022 model, I bought this 2021 model, and now I've paid for the repair of the 2021 model. So when you add those three things, I've spent almost $6,000 in refrigerators in 2.5 years. Tell me how that makes sense. So other things that are disappointing even on a good day with this refrigerator. So that's why I'm making this review. I think it's important that people know, right, is as excited as I was about the ice maker on the top and the bottom ice maker is super slow. I had already read reviews about that and I thought it was going to be fine. But now that I don't have to deal with this refrigerator, if you are okay, there's so many refrigerators on the market now that offer the 2 ice maker. It might not have the same type of capacity as this one, but when it's making ice quicker than this one, then aren't you netting more ice in the long run? Yes. This one also has a pretty large tray. I'll show you guys. I had to clean it all out yesterday because it was so disgusting. But this is the tray for the bottom. So this takes up a part of your drawer, your pull-out drawer of the freezer. That's a lot of space. So it was important to us, but if you don't need that much space, some of the other ones nowadays are more compact on the secondary one. The water stuff was fine. I don't have anything to complain. The top ice maker has little small ice cubes. I didn't care. It was fine. We didn't use that one a whole lot. Our bottom one was the primary ice dispenser that we used. The space inside, I think, was great. Some of the shelving, I wish would have been configured a little bit different, but other than that, I think it's fine. But the ice, I think was pretty slow to dispense. And then the temperature, right? So consistently having to adjust your temperature, even when you have a brand new Frigidaire part installed. Motherboard, isn't a motherboard supposed to be the mother of the whole thing? So the temperature inconsistencies, even though nothing was ruined with the seals or anything, I take great care of my refrigerator. That was really hard. So I would very, very often buy groceries. I get groceries weekly because, again, I have my kids, depending on the week, anywhere between 2 and 5 days. And then if there's holidays, there's more. But then I also cook for myself and I eat at home a lot. So I would oftentimes hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars in wasted money because the temperature dysregulation, even when it had brand new part, right, brand new motherboard, would often freeze. So if you put certain stuff too close to the ice maker inside, you can see right there. So it shouldn't cause that, right? Or if you put things too far back, So you put things towards the back, so I'd have to keep things forward. It would literally freeze stuff. Same thing at the bottom with the vegetables and the fruits. If you kind of, depending on the cycle of the refrigerator, almost like it had its own little menstrual period, would be the thing would freeze up. So you would buy produce and stuff, and the next day it's frozen and ruined. So you just have to throw it away, right? Or I'd put stuff in containers, leftovers, and it'd be frozen, half frozen, sometimes thawed looking, slushy looking. What a nightmare. So again, I already called bulk. They're going to come pick it up January 12th at the curb. I've got to take the doors off, but super, super disappointed. I really hope that Frigidaire gets with the program, because consumers can't go around just spending money and wasting money. Even if we had the money to spend, we still shouldn't have to do that. So I would love your comments. If you guys agree, let me know. And with that, I'm going to head out. I've got to finish getting ready. I've got a friend of mine and his son. They're coming over to help me get this sucker out into the garage, bring the garage one in, so I can then order some groceries, because as of right now, we literally have nothing. What an exciting way to wrap up Christmas, get home from 15 hours of travel, and yeah, that was exciting. Bye.